Hello and welcome to Molson Sports Talk. I'm your host, Matt Olson. I did decide that I wanted to get back into the sports game, make some videos for you guys. So we are going to talk sports. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to have guests on here. We're going to look at all sorts of sports. So let's get it started here. I wanted to open this venture with a big event. And I know in the summer, it's the dog days, not really a whole lot going on with sports. But in July, you have the Major League Baseball All Star Game. Tonight, we have the 87th Major League Baseball All Star Game going on right here behind me. Now, the All Star Game has always held a special place in my heart. It brings me back to my childhood, brings everyone back to their childhood when they're watching the game on the couch, their mom and dad. It's just a really good event. Probably the best out of the three other major sports at their All-Star game. Because when it comes down to it, it is pitcher versus batter. It's not like the NFL, it's not like the NBA, it's not like the NHL with no defense whatsoever in their games. Now when you think back in the Major League Baseball All-Star game, you think back on some great memories. 1946, Ted Williams coming back from his tour of World War II, hits 2 home runs. 1955, the game's in Milwaukee. Stan the Man Musial for the Cardinals, hitting a walk-off in the bottom of the 12th, give the NL a 5-4 win. 1981, strike-shortened season. Baseball started their second half the day after the All-Star game. Could you imagine that today? Those pitchers, they would not have any business in that whatsoever. 1999, Pedro Martinez. 5 out of the first 6 batters strike out for the NL. 2001, Cal Ripken Jr.'s last All-Star game. A-Rod, maybe the best thing he's ever done in his career, giving up shortstop for Cal Ripken to start, and then he hits a home run. And who could forget 2002 in Milwaukee, the tie ball game? That's what brings us to this All-Star game and the past 13. Which have been this one counts. So they are playing for something, folks. I know it feels like they really aren't because it truly is an exhibition. They are playing for home field advantage in the World Series. The AL, since they went to this format, has been 10-3. You can see they are winning right now 4-2. So we will see what happens. I do expect the NL to put up a little bit of a fight here in the last couple innings. Now, when you think about this Major League Baseball season, the first half of the season, you have some disappointments and you have some surprises. Starting off in the AL for me, some of the major surprises, Baltimore. The way that they've really battled back from last year, falling short on their expectations. Texas had that little bit of success last year. They lost to Toronto in the opening round of the playoffs. How are they going to respond? They got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but really turned it on, and now are leading their division over Houston. Cleveland, winners of 14 in a row there in June. That's a really hot team. So you're going to want to watch those teams going forward. Disappointments, Tampa. I really expected a lot more out of the Rays. I thought they would contend for a wild card. Really have not played well here the past 25 games or so. Chicago, the White Sox, got off to a huge start in April. Really, that's how I expected them to play throughout the entire year. Really fell back to earth. They do have Chris Sale, who started the game for the All-Star team. So that'll be something to watch for them. But I expected them to be 7, 8, 9 games above 500 at this point. They're only 3. My major disappointment, though, for the AL is the Anaheim Angels. Really, that payroll, they should not be where they are at. With players like Trout and even Pujols still hitting the ball fairly well, I expected a lot more wins out of them. Going over to the senior circuit on the NL, San Francisco, this even year thing, it's really something to think about because they are the best team in baseball right now record-wise. Starting pitching is really carrying them. Johnny Cueto, Madison Bumgarner, Jeff Zamarja, they are really, really playing good ball right now. The Miami Marlins with Don Mattingly, they are tied for the second wild card spot right now. Really playing good baseball. And obviously the Chicago Cubs, the story of the first half, really came back down to earth here. The past 21 games, they are 5-16 over the past 21 games. So they've come back to earth, but I really expect them to do some things in the second half. Bryant, Rizzo, Addison Russell, they got all those young guys really playing with confidence. The NL, biggest disappointment for me in the NL is the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know they've turned it on lately, but I really expected them to be in contention with Chicago and with St. Louis in that NL Central. The Diamondbacks, big splashes in free agency. Zach Greinke, Shelby Miller, really have not been able to put that together. And the Mets. I know the Mets are tied for the second wild card spot now with Miami, but expected a whole lot more out of that staff. Matt Harvey, really down year for him. He's now out for the year. I'll be really anxious to watch the health of that club going forward, see if they can get back to the playoffs and get back to the World Series. It should make for a very, very interesting trade deadline. You got some big names out there: Jonathan Lucroy, Andrew Miller, Aroldis Chapman, Chris Archer of the Rays. Do these guys get dealt? Who makes the big move? We shall wait and see. I would definitely like to hear from you guys, though. Who do you think is going to be? Who do you guys think is going to be making the big moves in the trade deadline? Who do you think is going to come out of the AL and NL and represent each league in the World Series? You can get with me, follow me on Twitter, MolsonMan86. That's MolsonMan86. You can also like my page on Facebook. It's Molson Sports Talk. So definitely get involved. Check it out. And honey, I will be heading upstairs, so don't wait up for me. I do have a little bit of highlights that I want to watch. The 1976 MLB All Star Game. I mean, come on, it's the bicentennial, baby.